Hi, welcome back to Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. Check this out, man. There was a man that was involved in this whole R. Kelly ordeal that testified against R. Kelly at his trial, at his federal sex crime trials. Dude got up on a stand and testified that R. Kelly sexually assaulted him. And we got to get into this detail. Now, check this out. A lot of us were of the impression that R. Kelly only had dealings with females, right? So, and there are people out there who still say, look, R. Kelly was railroaded because a lot of these females threw themselves at him, and when they were underage, their parents threw them at him as children, knowing damn well what the outcome would have been. But they were willing to settle all that for some fame and for some money. And now that it all backfired and they didn't get the fame or the money has ran out for those who did get money, now it's time to crucify him to see if we could get some more money. So this is the last ditch for a lot of people. On the other hand, you have a lot of people that are crying real tears, that are saying that they're traumatized and they'll be traumatized for life and they deserve some type of justice. Anyhow, this story about dude, the first man to publicly accuse R. Kelly of sexually misconduct, testified at the singer's federal sex crimes trial, saying that R. Kelly sexually assaulted him repeatedly while he was just 17 years old and still a high school student. Testifying under a fake name, they call him Luis. Luis said, the man said that he met R. Kelly in 2006 while he was working an overnight shift at McDonald's drive-thru in suburban Chicago. Now, if you know anything about following this whole R. Kelly trial, you know that R. Kelly frequented McDonald's. He did so much. I thought that he would have had a McDonald's commercial, and he probably did, and I missed it. I thought he would have been a big, got a big sponsorship from McDonald's. Come to find out, he frequented McDonald's a lot because this is where a lot of kids hung out at. And he used this spot also to pick up a lot of girls, which was said at another McDonald's that was close to a recording studio and close to a high school that he kind of like frequented around the area. There are people that testified that he used to show up in a Rolls Royce, in these expensive cars. This is after he had won a Grammy. And people would wonder, like, people like this who have won Grammys, who can now afford Rolls Royce to be chauffeured around all day and live in mansions on hills and in gated communities and exclusive parts of a city, why would they be in the hood, just lounging, no security, just him and probably one other person or whatever, not a security detail and all that. And the hood gets grimy. You come out here looking like you got a whole lot of money. There are wolves out here that are looking to feast. So it always made some people wonder. This is a testimony of quite a few people that have spoken about R. Kelly, that they always wondered why he frequented that McDonald's. He would hang around, he would drive around and circle a block. He would talk to girls, people, mainly the little young girls that were there, and they really thought nothing of it other than he was famous and he was trying to stay connected to his hood. Only later to come find out that a lot of the girls that he met, when they testified that they actually met him at that McDonald's. R. Kelly at the time, according to this young dude, was 39 years old. R. Kelly at the time was 39 years old. According to the dude, he was working at McDonald's, and that's how he met R. Kelly. On one of them late night shifts, he was doing an overnight shift. Kelly slid through on a late night tip, looking for a victim, and found him. R. Kelly, who was 39 years old at the time, asked for the phone number of Louis, female manager, and then gave Lewis a slip of paper with his own phone number on it to thank him. So this was a trick that he did. He pretended that he wanted the female manager's phone number. Damn, your manager fine as hell. Who that? Hey, check this out. Give her my number for me. Try to get her number for me. Tell her R. Kelly wants her number. And then he got the number. Louis went and told the female manager, R. Kelly, the singer, is outside the window and he wants your number. He says he likes you. You look good or whatever. So she sent her number. And then R. Kelly said to thank Lewis for getting the number for him, Here is my number, and gave Lewis a piece of paper with his own number on it and said, holla at me. Lewis, 17 years old, still in high school, he thought, oh damn, I just got the personal phone number of the number one R&B sensation R. Kelly right here. Plus, I have aspirations of making it in music as well. Lewis, who is an aspiring R&B musician himself, started texting R. Kelly, whose real name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, and he was invited to one of R. Kelly's studios to play some music that he had been working on. Now, but Lewis says that didn't get too far. He let the song play for only 5 seconds, he said, and he didn't like it. So as soon as my song started to play, he basically told me, hey, I don't like it. Stop it, stop it. Lewis said he left the studio and he was discouraged that the king of R&B was not interested in his music and made him feel like, what am I doing this for? If he's saying it's not good, it's probably really not good. But he continued to text R. Kelly anyways, seeking approval from him, or maybe seeking to work with him some more. Maybe he could write a song for me then. Maybe my songwriting skills aren't that up to par. Maybe he could coach me in the right direction. He continued to text R. Kelly and later saw him at a gym that's right around the corner from the same McDonald's where he worked in Markham, Illinois. Soon enough, he said, he was regularly invited to R. Kelly's home for parties and to play basketball with the singer. So he started reeling him in. He's going to private parties at R. Kelly's home. He's playing one-on-one basketball with him and all of that. Kelly ultimately invited Lewis to a studio at his home in Olympia Fields, which is another suburb of Chicago. But Lewis said that they met in a detached garage where Kelly had some exercise equipment and some boxing ring equipment and a boxing ring, rather than in one of the studios that the singer maintained at the main building, which is where they normally meet. He asked me, what was I willing to do for music? Lewis said I wasn't thinking anything other than like maybe what Puff Daddy did to the team, like walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, go fetch me cheesecake and all that other stuff. You know, Louis rattled off that couple of ways that he would assist R. Kelly. He said, I'm willing to go on tour with you. I'll carry your bags. You know, I'll help your DJ. I'll clean up. You know, I'll make sure all your stuff is in order. All that. He said Kelly wasn't feeling any of that. He was like, nah. He asked me after I said all that, did I have any fantasies? He quoted him as saying, quote unquote, you never had any fantasies about men? He said he was shocked. So he looked at R. Kelly and he said, nah, I don't have those kind of fantasies. Before he could finish really actually answering, he said R. Kelly got down on his knees, crawled to him, and proceeded to open his zipper and started giving him head. He zipped my pants down and he started to do it, is what he said. Crazy. Federal prosecutors in Brooklyn have accused Kelly of numerous sex crimes, saying that he directed people to produce women for sex and then he abused them. Kelly had pleaded not guilty to all those charges that were against him. The indictment identified over a dozen women and 2 men. This is one of the men who prosecutor says R. Kelly sexually abused. 4 of those women have already testified in R. Kelly's trial, and all of them said that they too had aspirations in the entertainment industry when they met R. Kelly. So what it seemed like Kelly was doing was preying on those who wanted to make it in the industry and using them, leading them on. They would play their own music. They would sing a song or 2 for him. He would say, I don't really like that. Make them feel a little bit disappointed. Maybe the king of R&B is not going to call me back again. And then boom, he calls. Hey, come on over. Let's play some ball. I'm having a little party this weekend if you want to come through. I want you to see the vibe. I want you to see how we build a song. I want you to see how the vibe is in the studio so you could, because you have some talent, but you're just not hitting it yet. that kind of stuff, and they were happy to go, right? And then once they were there, they got lured into some kind of sexual proposition that led to stuff like this. Now, R. Kelly is over here. I'm thinking of girls, man. And here's a dude that's saying he got down on his knees, zipped his pants down, and started using his mouth on him. R. Kelly over here giving head, son. At first occasion, he said that R. Kelly performed oral sex on him. He told R. Kelly to stop. Please stop. After R. Kelly stopped and stepped back, he told Louis, hey man, listen, you can't say anything, okay? Don't tell anyone. We're brothers now. Come on. Louis said that he continued to see R. Kelly even after that. Still, he was hoping to be mentored with his music career even after that. Now, I got a bone to pick. 17 is too close to 18. Regardless of what legally, he's still a victim, he's still a minor. However, at 17 years old, ain't no man pulling my zipper down and sucking my dick. I'm sorry. If that ain't what I'm into, that's not what I'm into. You're not even getting that far. The minute he got on his knees, I would have been backing up like, what the fuck are you doing? Show me the way out. Peace. But you have some people out there who are willing to go through lengths in order to accomplish some things, especially in the presence of people who they see as rich and famous and powerful. They get weak. And some people are willing to do whatever it takes, and I mean whatever. Kill somebody else, turn around and take it in the rear end, even though they've never done that before. All that just to see their dreams materialized, right? So it comes down to, at the end of the day, and I mean, he is not like he is 9 and 10 and 11. He's not like he's 13. He's 17 years old, about to be 18. So to some degree, he understands what was going on, in my opinion. I mean, a year after that, he's old enough to vote. He's old enough to join the military and go off to war. He's old enough to go buy cigarettes over the counter and consume them. He's old enough to do adult things, and he is seen legally as an adult less than a year after this age that he's at right now, saying that all this stuff happened. However, according to the law, he is still a minor because he hasn't hit that age yet. He said that R. Kelly sexually abused him after that on subsequent occasions, recording some of these encounters on an iPad and on camcorders, and asking him to call him daddy. So he used to tell him, call me daddy, call me daddy. Other women who previously testified in the trial also said that R. Kelly recorded them on the same devices, the iPad and the camcorders, and demanded the same thing, that they call him daddy. Lewis said that after additional encounters, R. Kelly's attitude towards him completely changed. As our relationship got stronger, he said, I was like a brother to him. Lewis said, I was his little brother. I was his little brother. No longer this person he was trying to get to know. He got to do it to me a couple of times, so now I was his brother. Lewis said that he last saw R. Kelly in person about 2010 or somewhere around there in a hallway outside the singer's apartment in Chicago in Trump's Tower. Kelly had summoned him there, told him he needed to come meet him there so they could talk, saying that he needed some protection. And he was wondering what the hell was this about. In the hallway, R. Kelly told Lewis to write a letter saying that someone planned to pay him, Lewis, to say that he was in a homosexual relationship with R. Kelly. Lewis testified that the letter's content was not true. It was all made up. R. Kelly told him to write it so that he can go and give this to law enforcement and say somebody is trying to blackmail him. I think R. Kelly was trying to do this to deflect that there was another dude who he was in a homosexual relationship with, who that had gotten out to the public, and he wanted to put that out ahead. You know, it's like somebody committing a crime or assaulting someone and then going to the police station to file a report against the person you assaulted, or you file a report first and then you assault the person, and then you claim self-defense. They can always look back and see that report and say, hey, he did file a report in January, and then he had this altercation with the person in February. So there's a record there that this person was coming for him before. So what happened in February was probably self-defense from the situation that happened in January that he did file a report about. You know, kind of like he was thinking ahead kind of thing, trying to defend himself. He gave me the notepad and I wrote the letter. Lewis said on the stand. He told me word for word what to say. None of that really happened. I just wrote what he told me to say. Other witnesses also testified that R. Kelly had forced them to write false letters, distorting their relationships with the singer, and at times even falsely saying that they themselves had stolen money from him. Lewis appears uncomfortable while he was testifying. He was scared. He spoke softly and hastily, using few words when answering some questions posed by Assistant U.S. Attorney Elizabeth Geddes and Kelly's attorney, Devor Canick. In August of 2020, prosecutors accused Lewis of attempting to bribe another witness not to testify against R. Kelly. So Lewis himself was coming up on his own charges. Lewis pleaded guilty to the bribery in January, and he was facing 15 years in prison. He agreed to testify in the Brooklyn trial as part of a cooperation agreement with the prosecutors. Now, I don't know, that part of the story right there kind of seems like Lewis has something to lose at this point. So he was going to say whatever he had to say to make sure he didn't do 15 years in prison. So could he have fabricated this story against R. Kelly, or do you believe that the story against R. Kelly that Lewis told on the stand is true? Remember, his name is not Lewis in real life. That is what they call him because his identity is hidden. In phone records, including in the original charging documents, Lewis suggested that R. Kelly would pay for the bribe. But on the stand, he testified that R. Kelly, who was in jail at the time, was not even involved in the scheme, and then that he had come up with this on his own. Prosecutors have not brought any charges against R. Kelly related to that bribery. Lewis took that for himself and said he was the one that bribed people or wanted to bribe people to not testify against R. Kelly. I guess he had somehow developed feelings for R. Kelly or saw him now as his brother, and of course someone who could possibly make him realize his dreams, materialize his dreams of making it in the industry. While cross-examining Lewis, Canick suggested that he had an incentive to tell a story that would malign R. Kelly to fulfill the terms of his cooperation agreement, which is exactly what I was thinking was going on. However, Canick struggled to come up with the factual discrepancies in Lewis's story. He spent several minutes asking Lewis why he testified that R. Kelly had opened the door to his Olympia Field home on the day that Lewis said that Kelly sexually assaulted him for the first time, when Lewis had said at another joint point that the person named Candy handled security at the door. So which one is it? Lewis simply said, listen, Candy was just not there that day. She was not there that day. That's all. Lewis testified that one reason that he had tried to bribe the other accuser was to help both of them. He said that he believed the woman might have recordings of sexual encounters with R. Kelly, and that he was hoping that they would never see the light of day, because he don't want nobody seeing him in that position. R. Kelly got him bent over doing things to him, so he was trying to get the tapes back for his own self before they leaked to the public, because this could destroy his life. He doesn't live his life as a gay man. He lives his life as a heterosexual man. So a tape coming out like this would be dangerous for him, and he was trying to intercept the tape. That's what he said in court. Despite his past, though, Lewis still said that he hoped to make music, and he hopes to make it in music. So the lawyer asked him the same question the prosecutor asked the other witnesses who said R. Kelly had promised them to bolster their music career. What, if anything, did the singer R. Kelly ever do to help your music career? He gave the same answer that everybody else gave. Nothing. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. I'll hit you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. You already know if the topic is hot, we're on it. I'm out. Peace.